And yeah, I don't like Thanksgiving.
Ever since I moved to Maine, I stopped celebrating holidays. They're all a joke.
Yeah.
At all?
Yeah, all of them.
Well, we still have a
No,
lot
I'm
of
serious.
we still have a lot of family like here. So Christmas is nice. Like it's just
do
like
like
being a kid. Like you go to mommy and daddy's house and get Christmas presents and everything.
Dude, no, the problem with working retail is that you see the world in such a jaded way where you're just like, everything I see is just, how much do you love your family? Spend money on them.
Yeah.
You love them, you'd spend money on them. This is the time of year where you show how much you love them by spending money on them. It just grosses me out.
No. I feel it. Like I hate the Christmas season, but I like Christmas. Like I hate all the commercials and I hate all of the songs. And
I actually like the music.
Dude.
wow.
I
No,
can
it's so
listen to
good.
it on one day, and that's Christmas.
Yeah, I'm with you on
I
that.
hate Christmas music.
It's
But
the best to hum to.
All right. Well,
I did want to say one thing about since you've released our episodes.
Yeah, go
I was
ahead.
listening to them, and I noticed you fidgeting with my mic just now. And in the old episodes, Derek gets a microphone, and me and Will get like a can with a string attached to it. Because like, we sound like we're so far away. We're just like, hey,
I think
Derek.
you guys do kind of speak far away from the mic,
But
though.
it's because we were sitting on the floor. Now we have a table.
There was one of the podcasts where I was listening to myself, and because Derek would always harp on me because I would like slowly lean back, and I was like, I can just offset that by increasing my own volume, and so it sounds like I'm sitting on the other side of the room just yelling at the mic when it doesn't come across. Unrelated note, did you guys know that dolphins actually do drugs?
No, what?
Yeah, so there's a kind of fish that releases a chemical when it's in stress, and it apparently kind of like messes with the dolphins. And there are videos of the dolphins, and they'll take the fish in its mouth and like squeeze it a little bit, and then they'll pass it to the next dolphin.
What?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That is crazy.
yeah, dolphins are so cool. Well, they're terrible. People who like dolphins, they're rapists. Okay,
What?
Dolphins
The
are
dolphins
rapists.
rape?
Yes, they have prehensile penises. They grab people with their penises and drag them to their rape caves. This
Wait,
is
people?
real.
They grab
people, human beings. They
I thought
rape
dolphins were our
humans.
friends, though. They save us from
Not
sharks.
always.
They
Not
sh-
always.
He made something interesting that people like, so who cares?
I couldn't
But-
blame him. I don't know.
You think
he got
so?
so much exposure, and he was told like,
No, I
"You're
know.
amazing."
That's what that's what I mean, though. He didn't handle that well, and
Yeah.
that's why he ended up like going off the deep end
Yeah.
and canceling Fez 2 and just basically like falling out with the gaming industry in general because he did not have the personality type to handle that well, to stay humble and continue just making games. That's why I think it's important to toil away for a while, and grow
Failure.
as a creator. Yeah, just be like a failure for a while because it keeps you humble. And then like, but if you make something, you're like a young man, you're in your 20s or whatever. You put out, you're like, oh, I'm working on this game. You put out a GIF online or whatever. People are like, holy shit, that's amazing. You're the greatest creator ever. This is going to be amazing. Let's give you money.
Yeah.
Let's bring you to shows. You're going to be like, I am the best.
Exactly.
Like,
Wasn't that like, was it The Fiddler on the Roof, the author of that?
oh, I have no idea.
I think it's either that or like Catcher in the Rye or something like that. The author, that was like his first book or something like that, and then he thought he could never make anything come close.
Oh,
to
this
that
is
quality.
sounding familiar. Yeah, I think it might have
And
been
he just like lost his
Salinger,
mind.
JD Salinger. Yeah, I think
Dude, I don't know. You're
yeah.
the well-read one.
No, I think that it will.
Are you serious, Will?
Bad. You
Unprecedented.
pick those up. No, I think it. Mumblecore movies was a movement that took off like in the 2000s, and basically that was like, oh, we're just gonna make a movie about the lives of. God damn it, Will!
I have big pockets. Things don't like to stay in them. Gravity comes into play. No, tell me more about Mumblecore. It's fascinating.
But they're all the same, is my point. Like it's all the. I remember like this is kind of a tangent, but Will and I went to California to visit our good friend Nick one time, and so Nick is like just total Californian now.
Yeah.
He's like such like I'm like a struggling artist and like I'm a musician, and he has all these like nice, weird, and cool friends, and they're like there was one guy that we met, and he was like, I'm a poet.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I've never met anybody that was like, oh, I'm a poet. Even like as a hobby, where it's just like, no one fucking writes poetry anymore. Like, no one gives a shit about poetry. And, but he was super cool, and I read some of his poetry. I remember like being inebriated and like taking one of his poems and like doing a performance for everybody. And it was like such a weird, but it was just such a weird like vibe to have with all these like people, all these like kind of, I don't want to say pretentious because I like them, but like pretentious.
They were characters.
People. Yeah, they were just characters. And but this poet was reading Neuromancer when we went, and he was like, just look at this work of art. And my only familiarity with William Gibson was Johnny Mnemonic, and so he showed me a what was it? He showed me this line. I've got it somewhere in here. Oh yeah. So the first line of Neuromancer is what he showed me. This was like his selling point for the book, and it reads, "The sky above the port was the color of television turned to a dead channel." That's the first line. He was like, that just got me hooked. That was like the best thing ever. And I never understood. I was like, who gives a shit? Like, that's whatever. That's a whatever line.
Oh, I think that's a good line.
Really?
Yeah.
I like couldn't get on the wavelength with him, but I was like, oh yeah, have you ever seen the movie Johnny Mnemonic?
Dude, I don't know about you guys, but that kind of like weird like West Coast vibe gives me like wicked culture shock.
Oh
Because
yeah,
the East
we
Coast
got it
is
when we went.
So different, and I went to visit my friend who was going to school in Worcester, which is East Coast still.
Yeah.
But we were at this like weird hippie place where this guy was just like playing really shitty guitar, and people were just sitting on the ground listening to his music. And I was just like, I can't be here. Like, these people are so weird.
Yeah. No, when we went to California, it's a nice place. I would definitely like to go back for a visit, but it looks completely different from New England. Like the architecture, like it's sunny all the time. Like there's no clouds and everything. It feels like it's brighter there.
Yeah.
And but also like more fake to me. Like it's like everything seems like a theme park to me. And like there was a point where we went to Universal Studios and we didn't go in on the rides or anything. We just like went into this section where it's like they have shopping and stuff like that. And we were just bumming around this place. And, you know, it was a Universal Studios like shopping center. And it just like looked exactly like the city. Like there was no difference.
Yeah.
And but all of the women there are so beautiful. Like the fashion is so cool looking. But everybody has that like all of the parodies of LA are like not really parodies. They're just so true. Like you play Grand Theft Auto 5 and it's like a little exaggerated, but it's mostly accurate. Like that's how the people dress, that's how they walk, that's how they talk, that's what they do. And it's like I don't mean to like come off like I'm being mean or anything, but like they have this just completely alien culture, particularly when you're coming from the exact.
I'm being mean. Screw those people. They're all fake.
East Coast, Beast Coast.
Yes.
It is like just such a shocking thing when you're coming from the complete opposite end of America. Like I'm sure if I were to go to Middle America or the South or something, it would be like the same thing. But it's just so we're exposed to it so much on television for the West Coast. So when you actually go there and you're like, oh, it's exactly like that. It's like really shocking.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's like you could not like the people that we met there. It's like you could boil them down to one character trait, and you'd be like, "That's just a sitcom character." And it's like, no. I'm serious. It's a person. It's like we had our like Russian tour guide.
Oh, he's the best.
We had our poet. We had all our musicians. We had like our drug dealer that rode around on a bicycle.
Oh,
and like
God, I love all the people there. I love all the people there.
Make money. What do they do?
Nick and his friends.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
They write poetry?
I have no clue. Nick was in school.
Yeah.
I have no clue what he does now.
I bet their parents pay for them.
I think
Well,
he's a teacher now. I think
Nick?
he's I think he just recently. I only call myself an artist if I'm trying to pick up chicks.
Oh, I would
That's
never.
the
I
only
would be
time.
so ashamed.
Oh, you should never be.
Does it work?
Yeah, every time.
You say you're an artist?
Yeah.
What do you say you
What do
do?
you create?
I'm an imaginative person. I don't try to limit my creations to one medium.
So I don't do anything.
Shut up.
Oh man.
I know.
Can you do something when there's not the concept of it?
It's a good question. It's philosophical. We should ask a dolphin.